Hello, everybody. It's Daniel here, and this is our next Emotional English Podcast episode where we learn an English language effortlessly, emotionally, fulfilled with energy, and of course, positively. Another day, another chance to learn English, guys. And today I've prepared another mini story for you. It's an emotional English mini story related to the moral quality. And of course, we speak about kindness. We speak about good moral qualities, which you definitely need to have, or you definitely need to learn or study. We need to have these moral qualities, and we need to use them right away to make this life better and just to make people happier, right, who are surrounding us. I'm so sorry about our previous week. I had no episode posted. I was kind of sick, and I'm still kind of sick. Maybe you can hear by my voice. But my voice is definitely better now, and I'm ready to post another episode today. And as usual, we do have this beautiful reading first, right? And next, I'm asking you some questions related to this mini stories, right? And if I see something interesting here, I will comment it with my own ideas, or maybe I'll have something to say about each segment or each sentence. So let's try to dive in and let's try to develop our skills in a better way. And let's begin from this little story. This story has 4 paragraphs, and I will read each of them, and then I will share the moral of the story, and we'll discuss it a little bit, okay? I will ask you some questions, and I will comment some new words, and I will ask you some new words which you should to learn, okay? Let's begin with the first paragraph about the story about a glass of milk. It's the name of our story, A Glass of Milk. And let's begin, shall we? There once was a poor boy who spent his days going door to door selling newspapers to pay for school. And one day, as he walked his road, he started feeling low and weak. The poor boy was starving. So he began to ask for nourishment at each home he stopped at. That's the end of the first paragraph. Let's go step by step now, sentence by sentence, all right? There was a poor boy who spent his days going door to door selling newspapers to pay for school. You guys tell me, there was a boy, the girl, the dog, or the giraffe who spent his days going door to door? Of course there was a boy, right? The boy, and that boy spent his days, his own time, going door to door selling newspapers. What does it mean when you go door to door selling newspapers? You're knocking the door like, knock, knock. Who is there? It's the newspaper guy, right? And the boy, he tried to sell the newspapers, right? So how he was going to sell newspapers? Door to door or window to window? He was going door to door. He was knocking the door, knock, knock, knock. And he was asking the people who lived in these houses to buy a new newspaper, right? Why he needed to sell these newspapers, guys? Of course, it's pretty simple, right? He needed to sell these newspapers to pay for school, right? He needed to sell these newspapers to pay for school. So who is he? Is he a student or he is a pupil? He's a pupil indeed. He's a pupil indeed. Why? Because school, it's a place where pupils study. And if you're a student, you study at university. You're right. Absolutely. Let's go to the next sentence. One day, as he walked his road, he started feeling low and weak. Oh my goodness. One day, as he walked his road, he started feeling low and weak. You know, is it good or bad when you feel low and weak? Yeah, it's absolutely bad, right? Do you have energy or you have no energy when you have these feelings, when you feel low and weak? Of course, you have no energy, right? And who started feeling low and weak? Of course, our boy, our poor boy, started feeling low and weak. The poor boy was starving, right? What does it mean when you starve? Starving or starvation is a good thing or a bad thing? It's definitely a very bad thing. You know, when you're hungry, it's not that bad, right? But when you start feeling starve is a very bad. Starvation is definitely a very bad thing, because when you feel that, you want to eat a lot. It's like super hungry, okay? When you say, "Mommy, I'm starving," it means hungry x 4, right? 4 times more than just hungry, or 10 times more, whatever. It depends on your starving level. So starvation level. And the poor boy was starving, right? So the poor boy, he wanted to drink or he wanted to eat? He wanted to eat, of course, because he was starving for food. So he began to ask for nourishment at each home he stopped at. He began to ask for nourishment at each home he stopped at. So who started to ask for nourishment? The boy or the man? Of course, the boy, our poor boy. Why boy started or began to ask for nourishment? Because he felt something, right? What did he feel? Oh my goodness. He felt very bad. He was super hungry. He was starving, right? Who was starving? The boy was starving, right? Not the girl, not the giraffe, not the cat was starving. The boy was starving. He wanted to drink so much. No, of course not. He didn't want to drink. He wanted to eat. He wanted to nom, 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 nom a lot, right? Starving. He was starving. He wanted to eat so much. So he began to ask for nourishment. But what is nourishment, guys? Do you know what is nourishment means? All right. Nourishment, it's something which makes you good, which makes your conditions better. It can be a food or other substances, right? It could be energy drink, coffee. It can be an apple or chicken, whatever. It's all nourishments, right? If you see the nourishment, it makes you more energetic, right? So if you eat something or drink something, you feel the energy, right? It's called the nourishment, which makes you energetic, okay? So what the boy began to do, he began to ask for nourishment, right? So he asks for nourishment at each home. Of course, at each home. And he stopped at each home and he asked for food, right? But why did he do that? Why did he begin to ask for nourishment? Because he was starving, right? That's the end of the first paragraph. So let's read it all together and jump to the second paragraph. There once was a poor boy who spent his days going door to door, selling newspapers to pay for school. One day, as he walked his route, he started feeling low and weak. The poor boy was starving, so he began to ask for nourishment at each home he stopped at. Yeah, I think we didn't discuss with you the word route. What does it mean, route? So the boy, walked his route. What is it? What is a route? It's like a plan of a road, right? So when you have a GPS navigator, so you can make your route to school or to your fitness center, right? So road, it's like the model or a plan of your road, right? So when you see this plan on the map, it's a road. And the guy, he walked his road. He had his plan to visit each house, and he used this road. And he started feeling very bad, right? And you know the end of the story already. Let's jump to the next paragraph. The poor boy was denied every time until he reached the door of a young girl. He asked for a glass of water. But seeing his poor state, the girl returned with a glass of milk. The boy asked how much he owed her for the milk, but she refused payment. So let's start again. The poor boy was denied every time until he reached the door of a young girl. So what does it mean denied every time? The poor boy knocked the door and all people there refused to give or provide nourishment to the boy, right? It's a very bad thing when you face the denial, right? So everybody denied to help poor boy, right? To help poor boy with what? With food, of course. The poor boy was denied every time until he reached the door of a young girl. So there was a girl who helped the boy, right? Who tried to help the poor boy. And the boy asked for a glass of water. But seeing his poor state, the girl returned with a glass of milk. So that was the nourishment, right? So what was the nourishment in this situation? The nourishment in this situation was a glass of milk. Why a glass of milk was the nourishment? Because glass of milk, it's not just water, right? It's something more than that. It has more calories. It's almost the food, right? But in the state of drink, it's fine. But what did boy asked for? He asked for what? He asked for a glass of water, not the glass of milk, right? But why the girl returned with a glass of milk? Because the girl thought, oh my goodness, look, she saw very poor state of a boy, right? What does it mean, a poor state? The poor state, it's your feelings, right? For example, when I say to you guys, last week I didn't post any podcast because I had a very poor state, it means that I felt very bad. And the girl, she saw that the boy looked like very bad. So the boy had a poor state. You can have a poor state of mind or a poor state of your body, the poor state of your mood, everything related to the state. It's the conditions, right? Your own conditions, your own feelings. And the girl returned with a glass of milk to do something, to help somehow. And the boy asked how much he owed her for the milk. The boy asked. He understood that glass of milk cost something, right? And he asked how much he owed her for the milk. And you know what? The girl refused payment. She said, no, I don't need money. That's what the word refuse means. So when you refuse, you say, no, I refuse. You don't need to pay, she said. You don't need to pay for milk because it's okay. I'm just helping you. I'm trying to help. So you can have this milk for free. So the boy received the milk for free, or the boy received the milk and he owes something to the girl. Of course, he don't need to pay anything. So the girl was very nice and she refused payment, any payments, okay? So she said that the milk is fine. It's free of charge. It means no money needed. Let's read the whole paragraph one more time. The poor boy was denied every time until he reached the door of a young girl, and he asked for a glass of water, but seeing his poor state, the girl returned with a glass of milk. The boy asked how much he owed her for a milk, but she refused payment. So, years later, the girl, who was now a grown woman, fell sick. She went from doctor to doctor, but no one could cure her. Finally, she went to the best doctor in town. That's the end of the paragraph number 3. Years later, the girl, who was now a grown woman, fell sick. Who fell sick? The boy fell sick years later, or the boy fell sick? Yeah, the woman. Grown woman. Remember that girl who returned with a glass of milk? So now it's a grown woman. It's not a girl anymore. It's like 40, 50 years old lady. And she felt sick. She fell sick. She went from doctor to doctor, that girl. She knocked every doctor's door, but no one could cure her. Cure means heal, means treat, means help her. So no doctors could help her. But finally, she went to the doctor in town. And that's the end of the paragraph. So the doctor spent months treating her until she was finally cured. There was a doctor who spent months, right? Not days, not weeks, months, treating her until she was finally cured. Who was curing the lady? The doctor. The doctor from where? The doctor from town. In town, right? The doctor in town. The doctor in town spent months treating the lady, helping the lady, until the lady was finally cured. Despite her happiness, she afraid a lot. She afraid she couldn't afford to pay the bill. Despite her happiness, it means no matter the happiness happened, right? So no matter that she was finally cured, she was afraid of something. And she was afraid she couldn't afford to pay the bill. You know, the medicine nowadays costs a lot of money. And she visited one of the doctors and she thought that, oh my goodness, I couldn't afford to pay the bill. It's very expensive. But when the hospital handed her the bill, it read, paid in full with a glass of milk. How nice is that? But when the hospital handed her the bill, it read, paid in full with a glass of milk. So who was that doctor, guys? Do you remember? Of course, that doctor was the poor boy who was denied until he reached the door of that young girl. Long time ago. So that disease or that bill was paid in full with a glass of milk. It's a beautiful story. And let's read this paragraph one more time, just to revise it one more time. The doctor spent months treating her until she was finally cured. And despite her happiness, she was afraid she couldn't afford to pay the bill. But when the hospital handed her the bill, it read, paid in full with a glass of milk. Yeah, that's the end. And my question to you, can you recognize the moral of this story? What's good about this story? Yeah, you see that we have a boy and we have a girl who helped each other. Who helped first? The lady, right? So the boy felt very bad, and then the lady helped him, right? And then the boy paid back with the treatment because boy became a doctor, right? He was the doctor who spent months treating the lady until she was finally cured. And the lady, she didn't need to pay for the bill because it read, paid in full with a glass of milk. So she paid for that treatment with a glass of milk long time ago. So finally, we see the moral here. And this moral says, or saying here, no good deed goes unrewarded. No good deed goes unrewarded. And it means no good actions goes unrewarded or without a payback. If you do something good, in other words, you will get something good back for sure. When you think that you help someone and you lose your money or you lose your energy or you lose your time, it's not true, because when you help, you create the potential of a payback. If you help today, there is a big chance that tomorrow somebody will help you, and that would be your reward. But I want to say very important words to you guys that you need to do something good to other people, not for the reward, but for the good state of your mind and your moral quality. When you do something good for other people, you just taking care of them because you're a good person, not because you want a reward, right? As more we do good things, as more good deed happening, we automatically getting the reward without knowing or without wanting the reward. And this is vitally important. It's very important to understand. No matter what you do, you will have your reward. And try to help as more people as you can who surrounds you. It's definitely better than just to go away and not to help. I'm really curious why those people didn't help the boy when he was in need. We need to help. And that's the end of my statement. We need to help others to be cool, to increase our qualities, moral qualities, and be happy today. Let's read this mini story one more time from the beginning until the end, and let's finalize today's discussion. I'm sorry, still kind of weak, and let's begin from the first one. There once was a poor boy who spent his days going door to door, selling newspapers to pay for school. And one day, as he walked his road, he started feeling low and weak. The poor boy was starving, so he began to ask for nourishment at each home he stopped at. The poor boy was denied every time until he reached the door of a young girl. He asked for a glass of water, but seeing his poor state, the girl returned with a glass of milk. And the boy asked for how much he owed her for the milk, but she refused payment. Years later, the girl, who was now a grown woman, fell sick. She went from doctor to doctor, but no one could cure her. Finally, she went to the best doctor in town. And the doctor spent months treating her until she was finally cured. Despite her happiness, she was afraid she couldn't afford to pay the bill. But when the hospital handed her the bill, it read, "Paid in full with a glass of milk." Beautiful story, guys. So I'm really excited to say that as more you read, as more you listen your English, you become better and better day by day. So try to learn English as more as you can. Spend at least 1 hour a day to work with your English, and you'll become a better speaker, better reader, better guy. It depends on your qualities or your goals right now. So if you need to pass an exam, so just concentrate on grammar, writing, speaking, whatever skill you need, and become a better person. Thank you all for being with me today, and I'll see you very soon. This week I will make another episode one more time, maybe 2 more episodes, we'll see. Next time we'll talk with you about the anger management film, and I hope it will be interesting for you guys. So take care and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.